difficulties in students can be caused by many different things. These can be, but are not limited to, learning disabilities such as dyspraxia and dysgraphia, but can also be from the slow development of fine motor skills. Writing difficulties tend to come from a lack of coordination development, and therefore the students are unable to hold the pencil or any implement needed for writing or drawing. This lack of coordination and fine motor skills tend to make it difficult for students to be able to write coherent letters, words, and sentences. The students tend to write less or not write at all in order to save themselves the embarrassment of not being able to complete the task that the teacher has set for them. Writing difficulties can cause the students to have a low self-esteem, their work would suffer, and therefore would be less likely to try with any further attempts of writing tasks. According to the Eberly Centre, the reason that students have difficulties with their writing is due to a lack of critical background skills. The writing skills that they believe students need to be able to progress and not have these difficulties are things such as the mechanics of writing. That is, things such as grammar, sentence structure, and spelling. They also believe that students with these writing difficulties have trouble with organizing their ideas effectively. However, Prunty and Barnett state that writing difficulties stem from other learning disabilities such as dysgraphia, dyspraxia, and developmental coordination. In 2017, Prunty and Barnett conducted a study that included 28 students. Of those 28, 14 of them had handwriting difficulties accompanied by developmental coordination disorder. The other 14 had handwriting difficulties that was associated with dysgraphia. What they discovered at the end of the study was that many students had writing difficulties in the absence of a diagnosis. This particular group of students causes concern for teachers and can severely impact on the progress of the other students without this particular difficulty. The main finding of the study was that the dysgraphia group had 50% of the students with handwriting difficulties compared to the 36% of the DCD group. The Standards for Education 2005 states that all students with a disability or learning difficulty are able to seek admission and enrollment in an institution on the same basis as a prospective student without a disability or learning difficulty. The legislation and Australian curriculum both state that the student should be treated on the same basis as another student, regardless of whether they have a learning disability or difficulty. All students should be treated equal. The Australian curriculum also states that the teacher should make reasonable adjustments for students with learning disabilities and difficulties in order for them to achieve the same standards and have the same opportunities as the students without a disability or difficulty. Learning to recognize common signs and symptoms of writing difficulties is important as a teacher. An undiagnosed learning difficulty can severely impact a student's self-esteem and confidence. A student who struggles with writing difficulties may experience physical pain when forced to write. They may hold their pen or pencil in an odd way and struggle with aligning their wrist and body to the paper. They may also appear distressed before, during, and after an activity. One way that the students can be screened for writing difficulties is through a comprehensive assessment. This assessment includes both formal and informal activities. Formal tests for written language may be administered by a member of the special education team. These tests can include things such as standardized assessments, norm reference tests, and criterion reference tests. Informal activities can include, but are not limited to, things such as strategic observation of classroom literacy activities. To interpret these results into teaching strategies is to incorporate universal design for learning into their teaching episode. UDLs are a way to optimize teaching in order to effectively instruct the diverse groups of students that they have in their classes. UDLs have 3 core principles to help optimize lessons for all types of learners. Representation. Provide information in more than one format. Example, PowerPoint, written on the board or a piece of paper. Action and expression. Offer flexibility in how students interact with the material and show what they have learned. Engagement. Look for different ways to motivate students and sustain their interests. Evidence-based writing strategies to help students with writing difficulties and enable them to build their confidence and self-esteem. These include writing strategies for planning, revising, and editing, having students write summaries of text, permitting students to write collaboratively with peers, setting goals for student writing, allowing students to use a word processor, teaching sentence combining skills using the process writing approach, having students participate in inquiry activities for writing, involving students in pre-writing activities, and providing models of good writing.